we did want to ask too about Cifuentes' case, like why are the prosecutors fighting it so hard? I do understand that because the victim was law enforcement, he was a deputy, and it sounds like the whole family is very involved, but it also sounds like, you know, Alameda County law enforcement is very involved in, lobbying to stop it.
So, so there's two branches of sort of answers to your question. So first off, they are opposing every resentencing, as far as I know. And that includes, like, another one of my clients, Warren Charles, is a 66-year-old third striker who's been in prison since 2000 for a nonviolent burglary. And he had, he was suffering with really bad addiction in the 80s and 90s. And he had, a string of burglaries, stealing women's purses out of their cars at gas stations, that sort of thing. No real meaningful violence. And they're trying to claim that they aren't opposing it. But they are asking for his sentence to be reduced from 40 years to life to 25 years to life, which would mean that he would still be in prison. He would still have to go in front of the parole board, which he's already been in front of the parole board multiple times. So it's essentially a meaningless change. Whereas if they had not changed their position, he would already be out. So they're opposing all resentencings. Now, in Miguel's case, and
I want to add about Cifuentes is that he sentenced to 26 to life, and he's basically already served 26 years, right?
Yeah, he's been in 27 years. Exactly.
Wow.
And he's been in front of the parole board twice. And the thing about the parole board is they let out so many fewer people than they should let out. California has the third lowest rate of granting of parole in this country. It's, I believe, Alabama and South Carolina are
all the slave states, the states where slavery is still legal. Those
are the only states with a lower parole grant. And that includes, they've instituted elder parole and youth offender parole for people who are under 25 at the time they committed the crime. And the rates for elder parole and youth offender parole are just as low. I think for elder parole, I think it's slightly better, but it's like 19% grant rate for elder parole. So we're talking about, people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, who they're still not letting out. So it's really that, one of their main arguments was, well, he should just go in front of the parole board. But the entire reason why we have these resentencing laws is because the parole board is not doing their job. I mean, they are just not releasing the people that they should be releasing. And Miguel is a perfect example of that, as is Warren Charles, as are so many of my other clients. So why they are... So they're not supporting resentencing generally. And I've been having discussions with district attorneys, and they're saying, yeah, we're going to get back to it. We just haven't had a chance. We need to come up with new criteria. But they haven't done that so far. And so far they are not going along with any of them. And at Miguel's hearing, they said, oh no, we are. We've supported resentencing in 5 cases. They cited Warren Charles, where technically they're not withdrawing, but they're trying to change his sentence to something that would make no difference. And he is still in prison when he should be out. And he is 66 years old, and he has all sorts of health issues. He's a danger to no one. There's another case that I know about that's almost the exact same facts. Another third striker in his 60s, great record, et cetera. They're also moving to just reduce it to a lower life sentence. They cited a third case, which was one of the death penalty cases. And in that case, they couldn't move to withdraw because the Judge Stevens, who used to handle these cases, had already found that the person would be resentenced. It's just a question of what he will be resentenced to. So that means they don't have the right to withdraw because the judge has already moved on to the next step. So that was completely disingenuous. And then they cited another one of the death penalty cases where they are requesting that the court resentence the person from death to death.
What? Yeah, what?
They say, oh yeah, we support resentencing. This person should be resentenced,
From
and
death?
they should be resentenced to death.
Back to death.
And that's
is that Jones Dixon doing that? Is that really, that's coming from her office? From death to death?
Yes, from death to death.
Wow.
From death to death for somebody who was convicted and given the death penalty with an illegally constituted jury. With a jury that had Black people and Jewish people removed illegally.
Okay, so hold on a second. So what you're saying to me, this is crazy. So what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to do some kind of plausible deniability game where, like, okay, yeah, the jury was biased, but let's resentence him without thinking about the jury. Like, let's just. But what we're going to do is we're going to say everything about the trial was cool and kosher, except for that really racist thing that we were doing.
Yeah,
and so that's what the resentencing is. It's just erasing that really racist thing that we were doing.
Yes. And that's what Jones Dixon is trying to do in general. I mean, she's trying to turn back the clock, you know, so she's taken all of the district attorneys that were handling these cases and going for resentencings, all these sort of new district attorneys. They're bringing in all the old guard, you know, all the people who were part of the office when this was happening, when this was the policy, who were trained by these people, you know, or were these people. And so she's really trying to reverse the clock. She's trying to cover up their wrongdoing and going right back to the same practices that were happening under Tom Orloff, you know, under O'Malley, under the old guard, and act as if this massive corruption and unconstitutional systemic practices that are really shocking. I mean, what was happening was shocking. The notes that these DAs were making during these jury selections are horrifying. I mean, just really disgusting, you know, disgusting racism, disgusting misogyny, disgusting anti-Semitism, in order to, you know, to stack the deck, to put people to death who shouldn't be, you know, who should never. I mean, of course, I don't support the death penalty, period. But even within the context of the death penalty, what they're doing is really, really shocking.